Hey guys, what's up? Emo Cat Dad here, hanging out with you, bringing you yet another edition of Emo Cat Dad Listens. If you're new here, first off, thanks so much for stopping by and checking it out. What I do is every day of 2024, I vow to check out a new band or artist. I check out 4 songs from across their discography, give you my initial thoughts on those songs, give you my ranking of the songs, and then, of course, give you my overall thoughts on the artist. You guys have been so kind, giving me tons of suggestions of bands or artists I absolutely need to check out, and I really hope that continues. So please, if you can think of any bands or artists I need to check out, go down and leave them in the comments right now so I can get to them on a future episode. As you can see right there, today's artist is Silverchair. This was one of the kind suggestions from you folks, so I knew I had to get to it. So what do I know about Silverchair? So I know they're Australian, and they kind of came up in the grunge world in the early to mid-90s. The only track that I have any, actual memories of is Anthem of the Year 2000. And I really dug that song when it came out. That's around, I was listening to rock music, obviously, at that time. It played pretty regularly in Canada, and I dug it quite a bit. I liked how it said Anthem of the Year. I always said it as Anthem. So, suffice to say, I will not be checking out that song. But I don't know any other Silverchair songs, or at least by name. So I guess we're going to find out. Very possible the first song I put on, I say, oh, I know the song. But we're going to find out together. Alright, so it looks like Silverchair's first big breakout album was called Frog Stomp in 1995. And the most streamed song, not only of this album, but of their entire catalog, is on that, and it's called Tomorrow. Okay, so I don't think I've heard this. The vocal style, I guess, isn't my favorite. I can tell they're going for that grunge style vocal, and I don't mind the grunge style vocal, but I think it's got to be a little more glossy. I don't think it is here. I don't know if that was a production choice or if it was just what they were working with at the time, since they hadn't broken out yet, obviously, when they recorded this. But yeah, so don't like it as much as I thought I would. Okay, so I have heard this song before. The Fat Boy part gave it away. And honestly, when we got to the Tomorrow thing, I was like, this kind of sounds familiar, but I can't say for certain. But yeah, Fat Boy part gave it away. Have heard the song, probably on rock radio. Didn't realize it was Silverchair. Pretty cool. Okay, so there's a pretty rad guitar solo in here. That didn't happen in a whole lot of post-grunge songs. So yeah, it was nice little surprise there. Okay, so pretty solid start here with Silverchair. Let's check out their next album, Freak Show. And looks like the most streamed song is called Freak. So let's check that out. It's cool as okay, yeah, so the vocals sound much better here. They're still in the same style. I think just the production was able to be better on here. Either they chose to do it cleaner or had more money to attribute to it. But yeah, definitely sounds better. This is still post-grunge musically. I'd say it's more like a Fugazi style, but it's still got that Kurt Cobain influence. Very catchy. There's more lyrics on this song than Tomorrow, but it's kind of still the same style, which I didn't bump into at all. It still gets stamp of approval from this Emo Cat Dad. Alright, we've reached the final stop on our 90s Silverchair with the album Neon Ballroom, and I checked out the track Miss You Love. Okay, so this is like a pretty beautiful piano-led track. Really digging it. But the lyrics are anything but. So it's written as if it was a love song, but it actually seems to be about, not wanting to be in love. Very interesting, the way they structured this whole thing. Again, I dig it. Alright, so it's still a little grungy in parts, which not terribly surprising, because this was just, I think, at the beginning of nu metal kind of taking over, so there was still quite a few post-grunge bands, and Nickelback reached their height of popularity just a couple years after this, so it wasn't like it went away. Alright, and last but not least, Silverchair's most recent output is from 2007. It's called Young Modern, the album, and I checked out the track Straight Lines, which apparently was a pretty big song, but I don't recall it. So I keep walking dig this. There's definitely no grunge tinge to this track. It's kind of like a straight up pop rock song. There's some Brit-pop influences, honestly. It's, yeah, very interesting. I guess they, at this point, we're done with the post-grunge. We don't want to be lumped in with, Nickelback and the like. I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments if you know. If you're Australian, please get in the comments. Let me know if Silverchair just completely changed genres, or if, this was just a one-off pop rock song they did. So overall, this is a nice, positive, upbeat track about overcoming the obstacles put in front of you. So, important message. Really dug it musically. Alright, now it's time to rank the songs. So this is actually probably the hardest ranking that I've ever done, because these songs all have stuff that really worked for me and stuff that didn't. So, if I was tiering these out, I'd probably all put them on the same tier. So, I guess I gotta rank them. At number 1, I'll go Straight Lines, just because I think that message of overcoming obstacles in your way is so important. It's also the most diverse sound, so I'll give it extra credit for that. At 2, I'll go Freak. I really like the musical blend of the Fugazi and the grunge. The giant leap in the vocal production also gets it some brownie points. At 3, I'll go Miss You Love. I just don't want to put this last because it was such an interesting song structure, both musically and lyrically, to make it seem like it's a love song, but be completely opposite. I've talked many times on these videos how I like the happy sad songs where it sounds super happy but the lyrics are actually super dark. This is kind of similar, except it's specific about a love song. Sounds like it would be an epic love ballad, but it's anything but. And at 4, Tomorrow. I don't dislike Tomorrow. Like I said, the vocal production thing I bump into a little bit, but I dig it. That Fat Boy part is super catchy. Like I said, that's the only part that really stayed engraved in my brain. So yeah, Tomorrow is at 4 due to some production issues, but honestly, I'm sure there's a remastered version out there by now. That remastered version could easily be at number 1 had I listened to it. Alright, so that was my ranking. Let's go to my overall thoughts on Silverchair. Post-grunge was not a genre that I dived into very much. By the time I started listening to music in the late 90s, post-grunge wasn't really popular, so I didn't really get a chance to check it out much. And then by the time it had its resurgence, when Nickelback came out, I dug it a little bit, but then of course it got oversaturated, and I discovered pop punk shortly after, so I went in that direction. So I can honestly say that Silverchair is probably my favorite of the post-grunge bands based on these 4 songs. Because, yeah, although I did have little nitpicky things with each of these songs, overall I think this was a great catalog of songs, and they're super consistent. Alright guys, thank you so much for stopping by and checking out this edition of Emo Cat Dad Listens. I appreciate you making it to the very end of this video. Like I said earlier, go in the comments, leave me your bands or artist suggestions that I absolutely need to check out. Also, give me your thoughts on Silverchair. How'd you check them out before today? What are your thoughts? Like I said, if you're Australian, you can fill in some of my knowledge gaps. I'd appreciate that. I'm definitely going to dive into Silverchair later on as time permits. And if you'd ever listened to Silverchair, then just, give me your favorite post-grunge band. Maybe it will be one I don't know, and I'll do a video on it. Last but not least, we're at day 89. So we're getting there. We're getting to the big 100 episode. So I hope you stick along for the ride. And the best way to do that is if you cut my wrists and hit subscribe. This Emo Cat Dad signing off until tomorrow. I want to hear you sad.